Okay, great. Good afternoon, everybody. And I'm sorry there was a technical glitch, and because of which I had to log in late. I know some of you would have really waited for this session. So, without wasting much time, let's get going. My name is Zinia. I am one of the teachers at Enguru, and today we are going to talk about how to handle feedback. First and foremost, let me ask. I mean, those of you who are going to be watching later on, I'm sure you get these messages on your phone, or maybe when you go to a restaurant, they ask you, "Ma'am, could you share your feedback?" Okay, and these days, I think it's become more of a fashion because customer feedback plays a very vital role in developing your business, making it more effective, and strategizing how you want your business to grow. So, feedback has essentially become an important part of our life. The question is, what is feedback? Most people think feedback is when somebody tells you, hey, you're doing wrong. Okay, hi Nagma, good to see you here. So, feedback, the definition of feedback, most of us have this in our mind that feedback means something negative. But honestly, that is not the right way of thinking. Feedback can be positive, feedback can be negative. Feedback is basically an update, um, a kind of, let's say, information on your performance, on the task that you're doing, and basically telling you how can you be better, or what are you doing really great. Sometimes in corporates, people who are doing exceptionally well, a five-star performer, they are not given any feedback, then they feel demotivated. Am I not doing good enough? But even those people, they need feedback. They need to be said that, hey, you're doing wonderful, keep it up. So feedback is positive and negative, and we are going to learn about this in this session today. So Nagma, thank you for joining in. As I begin, the second question that I have is, who can give us feedback? Third question I'm going to talk about is, how do you respond or how do you react to feedback? Fourth is, how do you respond in a correct way? And the last one is, how do you share feedback? So technically, there are five questions that I'm going to be talking about today, and I hope this helps all of you in your future, in your day-to-day life, in your personal life, in your school, wherever you work or wherever you go. It should help you. So the first thing that we understood is feedback is an update, is an way of telling you how are you performing, how is your improvement. It's sharing information, and feedback can be positive, feedback can be negative. Now, the choices we have as individuals is, how do you accept it? How do you receive it? Question is, who can give you feedback? So in our minds, Nagma, if you're still around, in our minds we have this thing that only somebody who's elder to me, somebody like my boss, somebody who knows things better than me can give me feedback. But let me tell you the truth, feedback can be given by anybody and everybody. For example, we give feedback to our parents in our personal life. I don't know if anyone of you have ever tried that, but you can do this personally. In our personal life, we should give feedback to each other, that, like you telling your siblings, you're telling your best friend, you're telling your spouse, you're telling your parents, your in-laws, that, hey, you're doing great, I love the way you're managing things. It's good to give feedback. So, and at the same time, you can receive feedback from your juniors as well at workplace. A junior may walk up to you and say that, ma'am, I really like the way you manage your home and your office work. A senior may come and tell you, I like to learn from you, how do you manage your work-life balance? So feedback can be given by anybody and everybody, and you should be open to it. You can get feedback. Of course, these days PTMs have become a big fad in everybody's life. Mothers mothers are terrified of PTMs, and fathers are equally terrified. And I think teachers are also petrified of PTMs, because it's again a feedback session where the teachers give feedback about the kids, and and the parents give feedback about the teachers. So it's equally petrifying for both the parties, honestly. So in schools we have PTMs, in colleges we have, and of course report cards are a great way of sharing feedback. And then when you start working, you have feedback. When you get married, there is feedback. So feedback is like all over, personally, school, college, your neighbors, people who interact with you, your maids. Often we think maids are not so important, but trust me, maids are the first ones who give feedback about us. Like, somebody has to come to work in my house, we'll ask the other one, hey, how does she work? Is she a bad master? Is she a good mistress? So feedback is basically a integral part of our life, a crucial part of our life, and it can come from anybody and everybody, and it can be positive and it can be negative. So these are the major things about feedback. Now, there's another thing. Now, when feedback is given to us, typically negative feedback, how do we react? How do we respond? Now, before I get into this, let me explain the difference between respond and react. Respond, if I tell you, hey, Nagma, you're not doing this properly. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't notice. I'll definitely work on it. That is respond. When we respond to someone, we normally take time, understand, analyze, and then we speak. It is not impulsive. It's a thoughtful, statement. But reaction is when we don't think. We just then and there at the spur we react. It is impulsive. For example, I don't like the way you're working. If you respond, you will say, okay, I'll see how I can make it better. But if you're reacting, you will say, oh, how does it matter to you? Get lost. I don't care. It's fine. I'm okay with it. So reaction is always impulsive and response is always thoughtful, analyzed, and then spoken. So when someone gives you feedback, you have to decide, do I want to respond? Do I want to react? Reaction is fast, impulsive, and can be dangerous. On the other hand, response is always thought through, analyzed, spoken, and most often it is positively impacts you, not negatively. So, when someone is giving you feedback, you have to do, you have to remain calm. A lot of people I know, they become defensive. Oh no, I wanted to do this. Well, I had this in mind. Oh no, no, you are wrong. You can't get defensive. The simple way of handling feedback, either positive or negative, whichever it is. First, step number one, listen carefully. Listening is an art which is disappearing in this modern world. Everything is fast, everything is then and there, and listening is something that requires your attention. Listening is something that you do with a conscious mind. So when you listen carefully, you will be able to understand, why is he saying this? What is the reason? Did I really do this wrong? Am I really doing good? How can I be better? So listening, like I said, is an art, and many of us are not so great listeners. That's why I think there's so much chaos in this world today. So listen. What is he saying? Why is he saying? Understand. So, step number one for feedback, when feedback is shared with you, effect handling it is, first, listen carefully. Second, wait to react. Don't jump the gun. We said we jump the gun, like, oh no, 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 no. No, wait. Okay. So he said this. Why did he say this? Where did I go wrong? Do I need to react? Okay, how do I react? Do I become aggressive? Do I lose my cool? Do I remain neutral? Do I become over friendly? So you wait. First listen, wait, and then react. And when you wait, automatically your reaction will be better. You would react in a positive way, not always negative. Third, be proactive and ask questions. So if my boss tells me, Zenia, you're not doing this well, you're not great at this. Okay. So you proactive means you don't wait for the other person to come and tell me, what do you want to know? You be proactive and you ask, so tell me, let's say my boss's name is Vijay. So Vijay, tell me, how can I be better? Where do you think I could improve? Why do you think I made this mistake? um, how often do you notice such errors? What is the way forward? Do you think I could improve on this? So ask questions, be proactive and ask questions to whoever is giving you feedback. For example, I made chicken curry and it was awful, okay, not good. I may want to ask my cook, hey, you tasted a chicken curry. Where did I go wrong? Did I put too much salt? Did I put too much masala? Was the chicken undercooked? Was it overcooked? Was the gravy less? Okay. Or suppose with your kids, if you're handling kids or if you're a student, you ask your teacher, ma'am, how can I get better marks? Do you think I should practice more often? So when you ask questions proactively, you are telling the other person that I am receptive to your feedback, and mean it when you ask those questions, because end of the day, feedback is for you. If you take that feedback positively, it will only impact you in a positive way. It will not impact the guy or the lady who's giving you the feedback. It's all about you. So listen carefully, wait and react. And the third thing that we just spoke about is be proactive and ask questions, relevant questions, not irrelevant questions. Okay. Okay, asking relevant questions is very important. After that, what you can do is request for time. So, sir, if you think I'm not doing really good at this, I'm not good at making presentations, could you give me a week's time? Could you give me a month's time? Could you give me 2 weeks time? Ask for time which is realistic. Don't ask, okay, tomorrow I'll give it to you. That is, it doesn't happen like that. That is not a very, that's what we call as knee jerk reactions. All of a sudden you're saying it. It's not realistic. Ask, request for realistic timelines. I'm not doing good in maths. I cannot get 100 upon 100 in the next test. Ma'am, I need a little time. I need a month's time to practice and get better marks. Set realistic goals. Next exam, I probably get 65 out of 100, and the next one after that, 80. And then by the end of the year, which is in March, I should be able to get 90 plus. So you request for timelines which are realistic, set goals which are realistic. Okay, if you don't do that, and again if you're asking for less time and trying to improvise on what went wrong, you may be doing it in a hurry, and it'll not yield the same result that you desire. Okay, hey, how are you? Okay, Vinodini. So it's very important that you ask for time which is realistic, which is attainable, which is reachable, which is measurable. Don't ask for just time because you want to. Sir, okay, sir, I'll get 100 out of 100 next year in maths. Oh, come on. That doesn't happen. So set time and you ask for it. Then the next thing that you need to do is create an action plan. So, if I want to be really the performer of the month or the best employee of the month, I need to have an action plan. So, an action plan basically means where you make step by step plan. Step one, I'll do this. Step two, I'll do this. Step three, I'll do it. So, setting goals with timelines and realistic goals with realistic timelines. That's what we call as setting up action plan. Then sometimes what happens when you have a problem, you want someone that you can discuss this with. Uh, I mean, if your boss gives you, yes, sure, Vinodini, go ahead, ask. You can type it over here. So suppose sometimes what happens when we receive negative feedback, especially, or even positive, we want to share it with somebody, but we don't know who to share it with. So it is advisable that you should have a partner, you should have a confidant, you should have a friend, a colleague at workplace, somebody at home, who you can go back and say, you know what, I got this feedback that I'm not really good at my work. Tell me, what do you think? How can I be better? Okay, it's very important that you confide in someone. Otherwise that feedback will keep boiling, going inside, it'll keep brewing inside you, and you wouldn't know how to express it in the right way. Obviously, if you have good relationship with the person who is sharing the feedback, you can always go back, but in most cases you should have a friend, someone who can help you. So, Nagma and Vinodini, as we are here, we're talking about handling feedback. We've discussed about what is feedback, who can give us feedback, how should you respond or react to feedback, and then here we are talking about the steps involved in accepting feedback. Okay, so we go. First step we did is we listen carefully. Second step we did is wait to react. Third step we did is ask, be proactive and ask questions. Fourth we did is request for time. Fifth we did is we created an action plan. Then we found we need to discuss with a friend or a partner, whoever you trust in or whoever you look up to for advice and motivation. Go back and talk to that person. And the last step that we did is we follow up. Now follow up means where you okay, feedback is given, Done, I'm closed, I'm done. But it's important that you go back after, let's say, when you've requested time, let's say in 2 months or in 3 months, you go back and ask, so tell me, have I improved? Where do you think I stand today? Do you see any improvement in me? Do you think I've become better? It's important. Otherwise, if you don't ask those questions, you are like going in the, you're still in the dark. You don't know whether you've improved or not, whether your hard work has paid off or not. So it's important that you go back and follow up again. That, hey, you know what, last time I got 60 out of maths, this time am I any better? Oh, last time my chicken curry was half cooked, is it any better today? Of course, I hope it's not half cooked anymore. Or you tell your boss that, I worked on my presentation skill. Do you think this time I did well in my QBR or my MBR? So QBR and MBR basically is monthly business review and quarterly business review. So it's go back and ask questions. That's all right. That's your right. Now, while we did all of this, we get, when I spoke about the second point of positive and negative feedback, we get both kind of feedback in our day-to-day life. We get positive and negative feedback. Vinodini, I'm waiting for your question. You can type it here. So now, first we're going to look at negative feedback. So for example, Xenia, this presentation you made, there were spelling errors. How did you make that presentation? Ooh, spell check didn't work. I can say that. That's not the right way. You should just say, thank you for pointing it out. I'm sorry I missed it. Okay. So when you, instead of saying, oh, I missed it, it's all right. Nobody noticed. Only you noticed. That's a rude way of doing it. So the polite way of doing it, and when we when we respond to a feedback, it's so important to have a check on your attitude, your body language, and your tone, and of course the vocabulary. You may speak very sweetly, but if you have an aggressive body language, then it shows that you disapprove of it. So please, when you are responding to feedback, your body language, your attitude, your tone, and your vocabulary plays a very vital role. Do not mess up on that. Okay. So be careful on all of these parameters. Okay. Think. Do I have the right? So it's like, standing like this. Yeah. Okay. I did it. So what? Hey, I'm so sorry. I really didn't notice. And thank you for pointing it out. So you respond in the proper way. All right. Then we can always say, I'll fix it right now. I'm so sorry about it. Okay. You could also say, thank you so much. I am so happy that you are noticing my work. Reacting in a negative manner is probably the easiest things any one of us can do. But thanking that person, because these days everyone is busy, nobody has free time. But despite the busy schedule, despite everything, if somebody takes out time to notice you, to give you feedback, appreciate that first. Okay, having an attitude of gratitude means a lot. Having attitude of appreciating others is very important. When you do that, you automatically become a better person. This is apart from feedback, but you should do this. You could also say, hey, thank you, I'll definitely work on this. Okay. You can also say, sorry, I'm just kind of thinking aloud. You can also say, I accept your feedback and I'm going to work really hard to improve. Okay. For those who are already excellent in your performance and your boss says, bravo, you've done me proud. You make me proud. So I'll keep trying my best. Okay. In all of this, the attitude, the tone, and the body language are so important, because if any one of them are not in sync with the other, your whole response becomes something else. So more and more people, as we see, don't be arrogant when somebody praises you. So when somebody gives you positive feedback, don't become arrogant, because arrogance always leads to disaster. Some people in my personal life, I have noticed, when you give them negative feedback, they're like, wow, thank you. Now I know I can be better here. It's so important. And then, last bit that we're going to talk about is, how do you share feedback? So, accepting feedback is one part, sharing feedback is more difficult, because and here also your body language, your attitude, your tone. No, Sheikh, you didn't miss it. I'm here. You're in good time. I hope you're doing good, Sheikh. Hello. So, uh, when Sorry, I kind of lost. I got so happy seeing Sheikh, I forgot what I was talking about. All right. So when we share feedback, if there is even the slightest of arrogance in us, slightest sarcasm in us, slightest negativity in us, you actually damage someone. One of my ex bosses used to always say, when you give positive feedback, do it in the open. When you give negative feedback, do it behind the doors. Because people love to be appreciated in public, but nobody likes to be insulted or humiliated or said bad things in public. So appreciate openly, negative feedback behind door, but behind door doesn't mean that you become the aggressive monster. You still remain the sweet person that you can be. You still manage your body language. You still sound, your voice has to sound so positive. Like, for example, Sheikh has just walked into the class. I could say, my God, you're so late. What's wrong with you? I didn't expect you to be late. But in a positive way, I would say, Sheikh, that's sad. I missed you all this while. You should have been here earlier. It's always a choice we make. And trust me, this is within our control. Our attitude, our body language, our tone. So when you give feedback, when you're sharing feedback, it could be to your mom, it could be with your best friend, it could be with your teacher. Yes, you can share feedback with your teacher, your boss, your colleagues, your siblings, anyone. Make sure that you structure your feedback. Don't go like, don't be like a jumping frog, like one here and one there and one there. No. The appropriate way of sharing feedback is you start with a positive note. Hey, you're doing great. I love the way you work. I love the way you're punctual at work. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your working late to finish your project. However, I think you need to work on your time management. So you are telling that person that person's time management is not good. But instead of pulling him down and insulting him, you're always late. What a useless bugger you are. Why are you late? I don't you have a watch in your hand? Oh, that's like killing somebody with your words. You could say, I love the way you do your work. However, don't you think we could work together on your time management? That would make you a better person. So use structured feedback, positive first, negative way of improving. Yes, Vinodini, you can join. All you need to do is go on the on the Play Store, download the Enguru app, try our free classes for 2 days, pick up a premium or a standard class, and there you are on your journey for Enguru begins. So coming back to the topic, so first and foremost, structure your feedback. One, two, three. Second, when you give feedback, don't just give absurd half feedback. Give in a structured way and discuss the actions to be taken. Vinodini, you are not great in Excel. I think what you could do a crash course from Udemy. After that, every day you could spend 10 minutes practicing at home, and you could do this. So you have a proper action path set up for that person. Okay. That way the person also knows that you are investing your time. You're not like, leaving him midway and saying, you do what you want, but I want improvement. That's not the way. You give an action plan. Third thing that you could do is be open to questions. Most of us culturally, sorry to use this word, but culturally, we are not taught to question people. Whoever says what? Gee, yes, sure. No, it's good to ask constructive questions because when you question, it makes the other person realize that this person is thinking. No questions, no thinking. Thinking, questions. Okay. For example, Nagma, you need to be better in your English communication skills. Finish. How? What? Where? Then you come back and ask, so Zenia ma'am, tell me, how can I improve my English? What do you think I should do? Is there a book I should read? Should I be attending Enguru live classes? Should I be talking to my friends? Ask questions. And that too, remember the first thing I said is constructive questions. Don't ask absurd, weird, no meaningless question. It doesn't help. That it just proves that you are wasting time. But when you ask constructive, meaningful, structured questions, then the other person also knows you have accepted that feedback and you want to improvise. And then don't compare. What is this shake? Look at Ravina. Ravina is so good, and look at you. You are useless. Ouch. That's below the belt. When we give feedback, the reason for giving feedback is to help the other person to be better or to remain consistent if the person is already doing good so that he or she remains consistent. But if our feedback is going to pull the person down by comparing him or her with someone else, you are demeaning that person. That's not right. So do not compare. These are these steps that I just shared with you, the tips that I shared with you. This will not only be beneficial in your professional life, even in your personal life. And trust me, when you start working on this on an everyday basis, when you tell someone you can be better this way, you could do this way, why don't you try this way, it always will come back to you with good results. Okay. So this was all about handling feedback. I apologize once again. There was a technical glitch because of which I could not log in time. But remember, and I hope all of you know, we come online every Tuesday on Instagram and every Thursday on YouTube Live. You will see the notification on Instagram or YouTube. Keep looking out for the notification. And also, if you feel that you want us to cover a specific topic, something that you want to need help, feel free to drop in a text to us. We are available on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, of course. Or you have a customer service number, you can check it on the website. You can drop in a text. We love to hear from you because end of the day, we are here for you. Okay, so your feedback really matters. It's just not about joining a session, it's also about picking up, understanding what this session was about and implementing it in your day to day life. When you implement the things that we teach you in these live sessions, trust me, it'll help you to become more confident, if not anything else. Okay, there is no way that we cannot do better. I mean, there's no way that we fail if we keep trying every day. Try, never say die, and keep trying till you are really good. In school I had learned this, um, good, better, best. Never be at rest till your good is better and your better is best. So, learning English is a journey. Not just English, any language. Today, if I want to learn Tamil, Marathi, Malayalam, Telugu, whatever, it is a journey and it requires extensive practice. Practice without giving up, practice by setting correct timelines, practice by dedicating time to it every day. So, if you want to learn English, you can follow us on these live sessions, you can read English, you can attend our live classes. Our live classes happen throughout the day from 8 o'clock in the morning till 11:50 at night. Okay, that's 16 hours in a day, 365 days in a year. So do not wait for someone to come and teach you how to speak in English. You come to Enguru. We are here. Every class, you have a teacher waiting for you. So those of you who have not been able to join us today on YouTube, no problem. We have sessions on Sunday and we also have sessions on Tuesday on Instagram again at 4 o'clock. So I hope to see you guys over there. All right. So thank you once again. I hope I will hear from you. I'm waiting for your feedback. And when you give feedback, remember, when you are giving feedback to someone, structure your feedback, set timelines, be ready to answer questions, do not compare, and plan and use your body language, your tone, and your attitude is very important. And when someone is giving you feedback, okay, feedback can be positive or negative. Listen carefully, wait to react, ask, be proactive and ask questions, create an action plan with set timelines, find a partner to discuss how you want to go ahead, and last not the least, follow up. If you follow these steps, any feedback from anyone will always prove beneficial for you. Okay, so thank you. Yes, Vinodini, you can quickly ask me. We've just got a minute left. If you have any questions, feel free to drop in a text to us. We are available and we would love to hear it from you. Okay, so this is all about feedback. Feedback can come from your junior, your senior, your neighbor, your grandparents. Your relatives, of course, they are always ready to give us feedback. But I hope all of this helps you. And drop in your text to us on YouTube. We will definitely respond. So thank you once again and have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.